And this is 1990 through to 2000. And you'll see what happens. We'll let this play. We'll let the dots evolve. Those dots are all countries. You'll see. And then you start to see China, US, 50%. So this, just for the benefit of everybody, well, that first line there, if you can't see it, that's 50%. 100% is at where Hong Kong, China is, and 150%. Fair? So you've seen the usual suspects. Hong Kong was an early leader in this. So you've got now this in year 2000. US reasonably well, not quite at 50%. China didn't even register on the Richter scale. This is year 2000. Just 10 years back, right? So I want you to start to now think of that and start to visualize this. China, nowhere, China had what's that, maybe 10 million phones, right? There or thereabouts. Now let's see what happens between 2000 to 2010. And you'll start to see that a whole lot more countries, a whole lot more speed. And you'll start to see countries you've never seen before. India didn't even feature. India's there. Estonia, 150%. Italy, Russia, Germany. And these are all well above 100%. United States, close to 100% now. Indonesia. Where was Indonesia in 2000? Nowhere. Today, Indonesia, in Google's opinion, is going to be one of the first countries where the number of queries we get on search will be more on mobile than it will be on desktop PCs. Right? That's a long sentence, but basically think of the fact that more people are searching on Google on mobile than they are on their PCs. And I bet you all of you in this room today, while you probably use Google to search on your mobiles, maybe once a day, maybe once a week. Now flip that over, and I bet all of you use your desktop more to search. Flip that over and think of Indonesia, where they're just searching almost on their mobiles a whole lot more than they do on their desktops. So if you see, China, it's just gone out, right? They're only at 50% penetration, but they have 600 million phones out there. It's incredible, right? Start to think about this, Brazil, Indonesia, and all these countries. India didn't even feature 10 years back. Can you imagine it in a decade? That's not even a generation. It's just a decade, just 10 years. And I was speaking with some of the conveners earlier today. It's just a symptom. It's just an indication of how quickly our business changes. And that's the kind of people we're also looking for, by the way. People who can adjust to this kind of pace, who can really thrive in this kind of an environment, because 10 years back, this landscape was vastly different. Right? It's incredibly interesting. And then, you've probably seen this before as well, so mobile internet users, we believe that the number of internet users that come to us, on mobile will outstrip the desktop pretty soon, in the next year or two. And when you start to think of the fact that, most urban areas already have their mobile phones and desktop PCs. So where does growth come from? From the rural areas, right? And what would the rural areas go and buy first? A mobile phone. They're not going to go buy a desktop PC in the beginning. And once they get their mobile phone, if the telephone operators have the right plans, what do? They'll start to search and explore the web on the mobile. In fact, what I've seen is that there's now almost an entire generation of users who have skipped, whose first introduction to the internet is actually through their mobile, not the desktop PC anymore. And that's incredible when you think about it. That has great implications for business, because it's no longer enough to just have a big, gigantic flash site, right? You have to have a mobile compatible site. It has huge implications for all of us, as professionals, as business leaders. The other thing I want to talk to you about is this. This is very interesting, because most people think that maybe mobile. If you're searching on mobile, it reduces the number of searches on desktop. And this is not the case at all, because what we've seen is that the spikes on mobile searches are on the weekends, when you're not in your office. Because when you're in office, you're searching on your desktop PCs. Right? So that's what happens. And this is true, because if I were to flip this, and I were to look at this on a daily basis, you'll start to see this, right? This is from 4 p.m., 4 a.m., out to 3 a.m., right? So it's a 24-hour time span. And you'll start to see that basically when you're commuting, which is that part there, right in the beginning, it's clear that more and more people are using their mobiles. Then you reach office, what do you get to? Your desktop. Lunchtime comes, some people who leave their tables mobile, some people are on their table, are doing desktop. And then afternoon, you're back at your tables, desktop again, and then you go back home. So on that commute, what's with you all the time? Your mobile. So the mobile is additive, if you will, to desktop. And it's very, very complementary. It's all about usage, it's all about what time you use this. So, we talked about mobile, but there's also, you've all seen this picture, it's television, all of us have grown up using it and watching it, but increasingly more and more media, like television, is consumed online. Right? So let me ask you this. How many hours of content is uploaded on YouTube every minute? This is a publicly available figure. So I'll repeat the question and then take a guess. How many hours of content is uploaded every minute on YouTube? Any guesses? 48 hours? 48. Not quite, but good guess. Anybody else? 48,000? No. That's quite ambitious. Every minute, 40,000? So, every minute, we see 35 hours worth of content uploaded onto YouTube. Every minute. So in this time that I'm boring you, you would have to spend 175 days doing nothing else but watching YouTube to be able to consume the content that's been uploaded already. Just in this span that I'm talking. It's incredible. It's incredible the amount of information that's been generated and that people such as yourselves and me are putting online and seeing. So nobody consumes TV programs anymore. People just go to YouTube and watch it. Justin Bieber is a YouTube phenomenon. He's not big because of TV. And so not only that, every day, over 2 billion views of streaming. And then what can companies do with this? So I wanted to show you this very interesting example. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's... Have you guys seen this?
Double rainbow.
Yeah. So listen to this guy.
Wow, that's a full rainbow. All the way. Double rainbow. Oh my God.
So he's clearly very excited about double rainbow.
All the way.
So what did somebody else do? Listen to this. So what did somebody else do? Listen to this. Let me show you.
Wow, that's a full rainbow. All the way. Double rainbow. Oh my God. Double rainbow. That's a double rainbow.
And you can do this. You can do this with YouTube. You use your iTunes, you do this. Somebody upload a video here and use it. So not only that, but so that for the more business-minded of us in this room, we'll say, okay, this is great. What are the statistics? And you know what? We can give you a lot of statistics. You know, how many men, what percentage of people were men, what percentage of women, where are they coming from, what is the age group, right? Because, you know, when you use YouTube, hopefully you're using it through a signed-in account. So then, what did Microsoft do with this, right? So why don't you see this?
Oh, look at that. It's a double rainbow. Oh, whoa.
Wow, look at that. Full on double rainbow all the way across the sky. Wow!
How do you fit a double rainbow in a single shot? You don't.
You do it in 3. With Windows Live Photo Gallery, you can use photo sessions combined with
Windows Live Photo Gallery. Come on,
Right? On all the way across the sky.
What does it mean?
So you see, I mean, there's this guy like you and me. We went and uploaded a picture. The next thing you know, somebody's made a song of it. The next thing you know, Microsoft's made a commercial of it. This is how video is going to be consumed, and that's just the beginning of it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to end by kind of sharing a little bit about what all of you guys, or all of us in this room do. And so what I did was I looked at the queries. So what you type into Google, you know, we aggregate all this data anonymously, of course, and we wanted to see what are the 3 most things that Malaysians are interested in. So it's clear to see that you guys are interested in mobile phones, and especially, you know, when you start to see this is 2005, 06, 07, 08, 09, and you know, basically it's towards the end of 08 that it really spikes. So in effect, the number of queries that we've seen related to mobile phones has gone up by, if you just count this is about 10 times. 10 times in the last 5 years. So think about it again as a business owner, as a CEO of you know, Samsung, or even as Maxis and all of this. This is a great way to sort of think about, wow, okay, so more and more Malaysians are looking for mobiles online. Right? What else? Financial and insurance information. Again, very clearly important to Malaysians, and you'll see that it's grown again, incredibly by about 6, 7 times. That's interest expressed in your queries, right? And again, the hypothesis is, and it's a pretty sound hypothesis, you would not search for something if you didn't have a need for it, right? If you weren't looking for something, or if you weren't researching it, right? We have investment bankers here, right? Fair enough. And lastly, it's very clear to see that you guys, that Malaysians, we love to travel. And again, this has spiked, you know, in a great degree in the last 3-4 years. More and more people come online, more and more means to you know, book tickets and fly, you know, you express it online. So travel, finance and insurance, mobile phones, clearly very, very hard. And I want to end by sort of sharing this with you. No, nothing funny, but what Malaysians really search for, and this is your top search queries in the year 2010.
Justin Bieber.
Yes, exactly. Justin Bieber. So there's a lady in the front row said, Justin Bieber, really? Yes, Justin Bieber is one of the most searched for terms. There's Facebook as well, right? World Cup 2010, why not? I have to use Google Translate, not the most reliable of tools as I've learned today, but I have to use Google Translate to understand what those are. But this is your consciousness, right? This is the word we use to describe this is zeitgeist, right? The word we use to describe this is zeitgeist. So, I know, don't get distracted by this. It's just lots of Malaysians searching online over 1 year. So I wanted to end by thanking you for having listened to me. What we really want to do is help organize the world's information. We want to make it useful, and you've seen examples of how we can do that. And very importantly, we want to make it accessible to each and every one of you. With that, I thank you for your attention. It's been a pleasure.